Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers. Welcome to Psych Club and to the Tom Numbers Show, both of my channels. And do subscribe to both of them. Click subscribe, notification bell, and then all notifications. So there's 3 parts. 111 equals perfection. So if you want to be top member of Psych Club and the Tom Numbers Show, do that. And also go to Ismael's web page, his website, which we'll put below as well. Do you want to tell everyone what your website's called, Ismael?
Our cosmicorigin.com, our cosmicorigin.com. And in my website, you have access to all my links. My Instagram, where I'm very active, Facebook, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but I do have it arranged where whenever I post on Instagram, it automatically goes to my Facebook. And then, of course, you could order my new edition of our Cosmic Origin, which is already available through my website. All you do is click the A for Amazon, and it'll take you directly to the wonderful price of $11.11, which ends at the end of this month. So about 4 more days, guys, you're able to get my paperback for only $11.11, which is a starseed magical number.
Special price. There you go. One. Yeah, 11.11. 11 times 11. That would be 121. Yeah, 121. Awesome, buddy. Second coming in Revelation 121. Golden Jubilee. Yeah, I'm also on Telegram, Twitter, Rumble. I need to get Instagram or Facebook. I think I might do that soon. But yeah, click all of our links and sign up. And so you did a signing as well. So we got some good info we're going to go through, Ismael. But tell us a bit about your about what you did yesterday. You did another book signing. Was that right?
Yes, here in the Los Angeles area, in a city called Hermosa Beach, which is about 30 minutes from LA. Beautiful, beautiful beach area. It was actually a really good turnout. To my surprise, we had about almost 200 people there. And so it was just a wonderful experience. I had a chance to meet a lot of the Soul Tribe. I had a chance to address a lot of personal questions, people sharing with me their own personal experiences, whether it's with ETs, with spirit guides. And it was just a beautiful, intimate moment, to partake with other like-minded individuals. And it was a really good turnout, actually. So I was really excited. And for those that want to see, I actually recorded the lecture and the Q&A, which was very pertaining to the times that we're living in, guys. It was really deep. If you guys want to watch that, go to my Instagram page, Project Restoration Zion, Z as in zebra, ION 1, number 1, no hyphen, no nothing, just Project Restoration Zion 1, Ismael Perez. It's the Instagram with 65,000 followers. So if you click on any other Instagram that only has like 10,000 or 3,000, those are all fake accounts. So make sure you click on the one with 65,000 followers to watch my lecture that I did yesterday at my Hermosa Beach book signing. So overall, it was just a really good turnout. Everybody that was there was grateful for my work, and it was awesome to meet a lot of other people that are in the awakened community. Oh, not to mention a shout out to Jason from Arcana Shore. He made an appearance with his little daughter and his wife, and I had a chance to meet his wife now. I did meet his daughter at the Truther Anaheim convention last November, as well as you, Tom, you were there, and it was awesome meeting as well.
Totally. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
So I had a chance to, meet Jason's wife. He was there for the lecture, of course. He wasn't able to stay long after that, but it was just awesome that, he showed up. And so I just wanted to thank him for that. If he watches this interview, Jason from Arcana Shore, you are my soul brother. Thank you so much, my galactic brother, for coming to my event yesterday. I also wanted to have Kristen come, but I believe she lives in, she's out in Florida now.
She's moved over there, yeah. Yeah, she's gone over there. She's flown over there. Florida 65, which is Doves, which is cool. Dove is 46, but plural is Doves is 65, Florida. So actually, you know what, buddy? So there's something I want to show you here. So on Thursday, I think it was. So we're today the 29th. So I think it was Thursday the 26th. So Friday the 27th. Yeah. So just 3 days ago. So there's a piece of. Are you familiar with the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films? Have you seen any of those?
No, I never had an opportunity to watch Star Trek. I was too busy doing research.
There you go.
And I stopped watching television at the age of 16.
There you go. So I watched. So this is just a clip. It keeps coming. It's just a fun clip. So it's a young Captain Kirk in this kind of adaptation of Star Trek. And anyway, opening scene. Well, one of the early opening scenes. He's racing a car. I think he's stolen like a vintage sports car, either from his stepfather or uncle or someone. And he's kind of a really rebellious kid. Anyway, he's blasting along this highway. Well, not even a highway, like a kind of just out in the boonies road. It's in Iowa, of all places. And Iowa, they put the title up that said Iowa. And Iowa in numbers equals 48, which equals Tom's site. That caught my attention. Rachel Rice was from Iowa. But then they have a huge Grand Canyon chasm at the end of the scene. I'm not aware of a huge chasm in Iowa, but there may well be. But anyway, he's being chased by a futuristic cop on like a hover bike. So there's kind of this metallic android robot cop that's chasing him because he knows he's been called in that he's stolen the vehicle. So then he's accelerating away and he's trying to get away with it. And then he knows the ravine is coming up. So what he does is he accelerates. And he's like, I don't know, young 13, 14, 15-year-old kid. And he turns the handbrake, spins the car, ejects himself out of the driver's seat. The car falls into the ravine and he's the momentum is pulling him along the edge of the cliff. And by his fingernails, literally, he holds on, pulls himself up, and then you see the cop pull out and he goes, "Citizen, what is your name?" And he just says this one line. He goes, "My name is James Tiberius Kirk." And then it cuts forward when he's the futuristic Captain Kirk. Chris Pine plays him, who I think is kind of if Matt Damon and DiCaprio ever had a kid, I think it would be Chris Pine. But anyway, that's another story. But the point of this is Beastie Boys is playing Sabotage. In the opening lyric, they talk about Watergate, so the whole thing of that. But I did the numbers on it. Something was calling to me. I did the numbers on it. My name is James Tiberius Kirk. It comes to 299. It comes to 45 NFT Trump cards, which was significant recently. It comes to the Twin Towers reversal. It comes to Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Verrazano Narrows Bridge is in the Hudson River area, just the southern tip of Manhattan. Verrazano comes to 254, which is 254 is the 254th day of the year, which is September 11th. So it's a significant thing. It's almost like these places things that happen there, all these events are kind of pointing to something later with a reversal. Anyway, so I posted this here on my Telegram channel. So you can just see a clip so there's a picture of him and the video is there, but then there's some numbers around it. And the numbers come to 299. So my name is James Tiberius Kirk. Anyway, I put it up, and my Telegram channel is Real Tom Numbers channel. So it's the one with about 11,500 followers. There's a fake one with less. It's not that. I have another one, the Tom Numbers show, which is just about 1,000, but that's mine as well. But anyway, go to the big one. But then the next day, this is what happens, Ismael. So here in the UK, we have these newspapers called Daily Star. Daily Star comes to 109. If you spell out the word 109, it comes to my channel, Psych Club. It comes to the word 17. Q is the 17th letter. Witness is 109. Diana Spencer's 109. Zapruder's 109. There's a lot of connections with Kennedy, with the events of 63 and Star Trek, because that's when Gene Roddenberry came out in the early 60s with his stuff, who's the creator of Star Trek. Anyway, so this title, this is the amazing thing. So I put this out that evening. The next day, this is the newspaper headline. That's really got nothing to do with anything. It says, thrusters to warp drive. Now, Star Trek fans will know that warp drive is part of the Star Trek anthology, it's part of the story. Thrusters, if you spell the word thrusters, it comes to 148. 148 comes to simple gematria, which is the numbers. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. It also comes to time travel. time travel, that also comes to Donald J. Trump.
Mhm.
But warp drive, thrusters to warp drive comes to 299, which comes to, my name is James Tiberius Kirk. And I did that post literally just the evening before. So this newspaper has confirmed a lot of the stuff I've done in the past. And again, it did it before. Because really, there's no reason for that to be the major headline of a daily newspaper in England. But someone, and I'm very grateful for it, notices the work that we do and puts it out. But anyway, people that like Star Trek will enjoy that one. So I posted that on my Twitter on 27th, the next day on the Friday. I've actually put it out again this evening on Telegram to compare the two. But the point in that is, you'll probably get this. When we do our work, the universe and sometimes physical things like newspapers and other things, President Trump speeches, etc., will confirm the things that we've been doing. So it's a fun thing. It's like an Easter egg. It's like a real-time life Easter egg. It's a fun thing for people to see. And it's confirming to us, for the work that we do. But who'd have thought that? Warp drive, Star Trek, thrusters, 148 simple gematria. And it's exactly the same number because I put that out. My name is James Tiberius Kirk, 299, less than 24 hours later. Thrusters to warp drive, which is a Star Trek reference, 299. We live in a matrix, brother. I think we live in a matrix. It's like something's going on, something magical.
Wow, that's very interesting, brother. Thanks for sharing.
That's all right, man. So tell us, I wanted to ask, so I did a show last week with JUAN 107, and we went into detail about the moon. And the people, I've heard different things about it, but it was really in depth, and people can see that on my Psych Club YouTube channel. It's worth watching. I think it's the best show I've done with him in terms of information. It was mind-blowing. But I wanted to ask you about your information and thoughts on the moon and what actually goes on there, what it is, what experiences you've got with it, and maybe other things a bit further than the moon, but particularly the moon. What are your thoughts on it? What's your stuff that you've understood about it?
Well, the current moon that we've had for approximately 50,000 years was actually brought in from Orion by the reptilians as an artificial construct when they were getting ready to lock us into this, reincarnational cycle, controlled frequency of a matrix that we've been living in. And it's artificial, it's not a living planetoid. And what I mean by that, it's not composed of or living elements, crystals, rocks, rivers, mountains like our Earth is and the other planets. It's actually a hollowed artificial construct that has been occupied by many different types of extraterrestrials for thousands and thousands of years. In fact, the Igigi, those that have been working with the Enki faction of the Anunnaki, which is the Luciferian, those Anunnaki that joined the Orion Luciferian, have been living in, the Anunnaki that have been working with Enki's son Marduk, have been using the moon as a way to lock us into our third dimensional reality and keep the souls from reincarnating in other dimensions beyond our planetary sphere. So it keeps the humans, reincarnating over and over and over in order to, of course, create a loosh farm, right? By creating suffering and pain and all the stuff that we've experienced for the last few thousand years. But get this, Tom, before 50,000 years ago, before we were before the negative Anunnaki took over, before Enki came into the picture, there was a real moon that was actually a living planetoid with actual elements that was actually made out of the debris that survived during the time when the Earth was still 4 times the size as big. Remember, we talked about planet Tiamat being the Earth, the super Earth before it became our Earth. Well, a part of that Earth obviously became the asteroid belt, and then another chunk of that Earth evolved into our current planet, 3 times three times smaller, and then another part, smaller part, became our actual real moon. But what ended up happening was during the Atlantean times. Well, let me rewind a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
About 100,000 years ago, when the Syrian High Council decided to to implement the third great seeding. See, there's other seedings before Atlantis. Atlantis was actually known as the fourth seeding. And so
seeding, are you saying seeding? Yeah.
Seeding of our solar system, yes,
Okay.
by the higher intelligences. So what ended up happening was about 100,000 years ago, during the third seeding, the Syrian High Council brought about the civilization of Lemuria, which was a very harmonious, spiritual, lean towards feminine spiritual growth as opposed to technology. So the Lemurians didn't have any technology. Everything they did was through the power of their mind, similar to the movie Avatar. When we watched, James Cameron's Avatar, and the way he depicts the Pandorians, how they're very connected to their ecosystem, very in tune, telepathic with all living things, that's exactly a mimicking of Lemuria. So Lemuria was all about spiritual development. In fact, the entire Lemurian society was built from this symbiotic relationship that the Lemurians had with their ecosystem. And so in order to bring balance, the Syrian High Council decided to create the fourth great civilization that later became known as Atlantis, that would actually integrate and bring balance with technology, spirituality with technology. And so that was the whole purpose of Atlantis, was to bring about balance so that the inhabitants of Atlantis may develop technology, but with the proper balance with their spiritual growth, so they could be in harmony with one another. And so during those days, we also had other colonies. We had the Mayan colony that existed in what we call today the Yucatan region, Mexico, Guatemala, the central region. We also had the Rama colony, which existed in what we call today the Indian region. We also had the Yu colony, which existed in what we call today China. So we had 5 different colonies that were living in harmony, and Lemuria was like the director, the motherland of all these colonies, being the most advanced spiritual colony, until, of course, Atlantis was infiltrated by the negative Anunnaki through Enki, and Enki's son Marduk, who later became the leader of the Illuminati, dark forces, the Cabal, whatever you want to call it. But what ended up happening was Marduk, Enki's son, decided to infiltrate the Atlanteans in order to cause the Atlanteans to develop only one-sided. So that's why the Atlanteans eventually developed in a very advanced technological, as a very advanced technological society, but at the expense of their spiritual growth. So they stopped their spiritual growth due to the infiltration of Marduk. And so what they did is the first thing they wanted to do was bring about world domination, because they were losing the galactic war in the galactic community. At that point, the Galactic Federation of Free Worlds, which consists of over 200,000 star nations, were actually winning the war in space. And so what they did is they narrowed down the galactic war into this solar system. But what Marduk did, and his father Enki, who were actually secretly aligned with the Orions, with the Orion Empire of the reptilian forces, was they decided to infiltrate the Atlantean colony, and they did it by harnessing an AC tractor through advanced reptilian technology. They were able to bring in the original moon, the real moon, not the artificial moon that later was brought in by Enki, but they brought in the original moon in order to implode it over Lemuria. And that event took place about 50,000 years ago. And then, of course, Lemuria was destroyed. Luckily, some of the survivors of Lemuria were able to escape into the inner earth. And, they're still living there till today in the inner earth, waiting to reunite with us after we ascend. And so after the destruction of Lemuria, Marduk wanted to also destroy the other colonies. Remember, there was 4 other colonies, right? And so what ended up happening was the Battlestar Nibiru, who was then under the direction of the Syrian High Council, came in its 3,600-year elliptical orbit, and right before Marduk decided to destroy by bringing forth an asteroid this time, through the beam tractor that they used to bring in the original moon. They were trying to also bring in an asteroid belt to then destroy the Yu colony next. And right before that, Nibiru came in the nick of time, as Marduk was bringing in the asteroid over Atlantis, over to the Yu colony. Nibiru blasted the asteroid, destroyed Atlantis, and that's how the Nibirians were able to stop Marduk's agenda of taking over the world 50,000 years ago. So that's when Enki decided in alignment with the reptilians of Orion, decided to bring in the artificial moon that has been in position and in existence ever since then. And then, of course, ever since they overtook the Nibirians, when they overthrew Anu and Enlil, who were actually the good guys. We had good Anunnaki, we had negative Anunnaki. They eventually ended up using the moon along with the rings of Saturn to pretty much take over the affairs of planet Earth. And so that's how the artificial moon came into our neck of the woods, into our solar system. But yeah, the original moon was a real living conscious planetoid that was used by Marduk through this advanced AC tractor to bring in over the continent region of Lemuria to destroy Lemuria. And that's actually part of the real suppressed history of the Earth.
Wow. Thanks, buddy. You talked earlier during that part about Atlantis and you said the fourth seeding, yeah.
Yeah, there was we're part of the fifth seeding right now. We're ending it's known as the Aryan root race. So the first seeding was known as Polaria. Polaria existed when Earth was still a super Earth, known as Tiamat Earth. And then after the first seeding, we had Hyperborea, the civilization of Hyperborea. And then after Hyperborea, we have the third seeding, which was Lemuria. And then after that, we had Atlantis. And of course, through the negative Luciferian Anunnaki, which are those that were aligned with the Orions, the reptilians of Orions, through Enki. Enki was the infiltration of the Nibirians, because before the infiltration of the Nibirians, the planet Nibiru, the Battlestar planet, was actually known as the defender of the galaxy. And that's why the Galactic Alliance, then known as the Galactic Federation, before it was infiltrated by Enki, of course, 2 years ago, was actually able to cleanse most of our galaxy as a result of the Battlestar planet Nibiru. And for those that don't know how the history of Battlestar planet Nibiru, we could go back to 560 million years ago in Lyra, when the reptilian forces first blew up the first Lyran colony known as planet Avion. And a chunk of Avion was later developed by the Syrian High Council to create this Battlestar planet, which later became the defender of our galaxy. And of course, in the Bible, it is translated as the sons of God, the watchers stuff. Mm-hmm. But one of the reasons why Nibiru was given a 3,600-year elliptical orbit was because when it wasn't in our solar system, when it was out, for 3,600 years, it was actually patrolling the other 200,000 star nations that were part of the galactic community of free worlds. And that's the reason why it came into our neck of the woods every 3,600 years. But bear in mind that Nibiru was always piloted. Most people, read the tampered Sumerian tablets, and they believe everything Sakurai Sitchin translated as literal. But the truth of the matter is, even those tablets, the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and the other cylinders were all tampered with and kind of modified by Belial, who is Marduk, the son of Enki, when they took over the affairs of the earth. What they did is they did various things. They changed all the records around, and under the new direction of the fallen Anunnaki, those that follow Luciferian rebellion, right, the Orion Empire, they decided to reset history various times over and over and over. And the most recent was 6,000 years ago. That's why they had us believe that Adam and Eve came into existence 6,000 years ago, which was a BS, of course, deception of grand proportion. But they did that several times before that, when in essence, according to the fossil record, archaeology, anthropology, and the new artifacts that have now recently been unearthed, my friend, it's been shown that we've had civilizations here for millions of years, which explains the different seedings, right? The first seeding, the second, the third, and now we're ending the fifth seeding. As we ascend, we're going to be part of the sixth seeding.
So when you were talking about the fourth seeding, so I looked at that. Fourth is 88 Trump, seeding is 63. It's 11. You've got the price 11. 63 was the events of JFK, but that's 151. That's drained the swamp. That's Jasara reset, it's Jesus Christ. The fourth seeding, this is really interesting. So the fourth seeding is 184, which comes to fourth density, comes to the fifth dimension. But this is the part I saw. So the fourth seeding, that also comes to so this seeding is 96, which is Atlantis. So you talked about the fourth seeding being Atlantis. So literally the fourth seeding also comes to fourth Atlantis. So I thought that was interesting, because Atlantis also comes to the word 96, which also comes to society. We've got the White Dove Society, but society 96 comes to Atlantis, and it comes to the word spaceship. I don't know if Atlantis is a spaceship, but the moon seems to be, Juan was saying that it's basically it's a spaceship. You've been saying that we had a real moon, but now we've got this fake moon, this artificial moon. So this is the other beautiful part about this. The word artificial is also 88. And you can get good artificial and bad art, But anyway, artificial is 88. Moon is 57, which is Tesla. But if you add those together, that comes to 145, which comes to forbidden planet. So Juan was telling me last week about, his story varies from yours, but it's information, it's all information. And, but he said basically the moon is called, it's the forbidden planet. Forbidden planet is 145. And you said artificial moon, which he was saying the same thing, basically. It's a spaceship, it's not a moon, as we would think. It's is also 145, which I think is amazing. Artificial moon, 145. Forbidden planet, 145. You talk about the rings of Saturn as well. That's interesting, because that actually comes to 214, which comes to 2020. And we've had the events of 2020, and it's just interesting, the things that pop up. It's like, wow. And seed, I didn't know this, is 33, which is magic, and it's gate as well. It makes me think of like this portal. So I'd imagine that somehow when they did a seeding, they'll be using higher, divine levels of understanding, and perhaps things like portals and gates. But seed is 33. Yeah. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add more information regarding the rings of Saturn. When Marduk overthrew his grandfather Anu from Nibiru, he did it through force. He brewed an artificial, what is called a drone army on the deserted planet Mars, and that's how he was able to overthrow Anu. And then eventually his time came to rule the earth. So Enlil, which was known by many names, the Greeks called him Zeus. And during the age of the bull, Enlil Zeus maintained peace on the earth. There was justice, there was equality, there was protection for humanity. And then, of course, his time came for him to leave the scene, and that's when Marduk took over. But what I was going to say is the way Enki arranged it is that he actually had the frequency. He arranged the rings of Saturn to bring in the frequencies from Orion. And so, yeah, in order to lock us into this, prison planet, or into this third dimensional hologram, whatever you want to call it, matrix. And through the rings of Saturn was also beaming in those frequencies to the moon, and then the moon was beaming in those frequencies to the earth. And that explains why the moon was set up in that perfect position, never showing the dark side of the moon, of course, because that's where the Igigi and the negative Anunnaki had their space stations. That's where they created their civilization, and that's why when we went to the moon, that's what the astronauts really saw, and that's why we never went back, because we were forbidden. They saw that the dark side of the moon, which was designed for us to never see. That's why it's always one side. When we see the moon, it's always one side. We never see the dark side of the moon, because of the fact that when the astronauts landed there in 1969, what they saw was, oh my God, if I could tell you what they saw all these extraterrestrials working with breakaway groups from our own planet, which makes sense because, the secret space programs were launched and developed during the 1940s, first beginning with the Nazis, right? And then, of course, later with the shadow government, military industrial complex, through the development of the ICC interplanetary corporate conglomerate. So when our surface world went there, they saw a coalition, a cooperation between members of the ICC, right, operating from the Lunar Operating Command, with working together with, you know, reptilians from Orion, and of course Greys were there, and all kinds of other ETs. And that's the reason, Tom, why they never show us the other side of the moon, because the other side of the moon has always been occupied by these extraterrestrial races. And it's just so recently, within the 1930s, I believe Hitler was the first one to you know, go to the moon when he created his alliance with the reptilians of Draco star system. And then, of course, later, about 5 to 10 years later, through Project Paperclip, that's how they were able to infiltrate us. And then that's when they created the ICC Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, which was totally run by, you know, the international financiers and the reptilians.
When did that, so the ICC, okay. So when was that? When did that start, the ICC?
Right after the Nazi syndicate infiltrated us, which was in the early the late 1940s, early 1950s. So by the time Eisenhower came into office, he was already there. There was nothing he can do, you know. And that's when they created the Majestic 12, which was a group of individuals, some call them the Men in Black, that were designed to pretty much keep all that under wrap. You know, that's when they started concealing all the activities that was taking place on Area 51. And then, of course, that's when they started building all the underground dumps and networks. And then the activity in Antarctica, that's around the time that it also bloomed. But the Nazis were the first ones to go colonize Antarctica in the mid-1930s. So since the mid-1930s, when the Nazis built out their first anti-gravity aircraft prototype, which was known as the Bell, they were able to continue their secret space program in private over in Antarctica. And then, of course, that's when Admiral Byrd, when they were trying to go and free Antarctica from the Nazis, that's when they were attacked by the UFOs that were developed by the Nazis themselves. And so, and then, of course, in 1955, we had that incident where many UFOs flew over the White House and the Capitol building, which was their way of saying, "Hey guys, we have advanced technology. You know, we have the power now to run the world." So technically, we were duped in a sense where in the surface world they made it seem like Hitler lost the war, but in the covert world, in the world of secret societies, he actually won the war. You know what I mean? He took us over from within through Project Paperclip, and then that's when the Nazi syndicate, through the people that created the NSA, CIA, and all the three-letter agency groups that have been running the country, they were all created by this Nazi syndicate that has been running our country ever since, and hence the world. Of course, they were behind the European Union, NATO, the WHO. And all those globalist infrastructures.
Yeah, Roger Daltrey there from the WHO. Okay, wow. So I want you brought that up. So you talked about timelines from 1930 and then 1955 with the White House. So I'm curious about what's your understanding of Roswell 1947? Interestingly enough, that's the power number in the other physics that one teaches, 19.47, and he rounds it up to 19.5, and you can get 9195, which is move the mountain. We did a few things on that, and but going back to 1947, what's your understanding of that, and what things happened, took place? I'd assume there's maybe a dovetail from the events of 1930 if they're spreading out, going to Antarctica and other places. Or did 1947, was that completely isolated? But then it seems like they showed up again in 1955. So what's your understanding of 1947? I'd love to know more about that with Roswell, and how did that affect us going forward?
Well, you have to understand that a lot of the technology that boomed after the 1950s, everything from computer software, LD lights, all that stuff that we have now, microwaves, it all came after the scientists reversed engineer a lot of the technology that they recovered from the 1947 crash in New Mexico. So that was a Trojan horse to give us the technology that later would, allow us to bring in the AI takeover through, 5 Golf, and of course the smart cities that they're now developing. By the way, the artificial intelligence and through the I guess through Google and stuff, quantum computers. That's all part of the negative alien agenda to eventually take us over from within. And then, of course, this whole movement into the transhumanist path, which has everything to do with merging humans with technology, is all part of that. So it all started in the late 1940s when I guess the Greys decided to crash, because that's what they discovered when they recovered that ship, that craft. They discovered that it was being piloted by these Greys, but it was a Trojan horse. It was a Trojan horse because they knew that our scientists were desperate for this advanced tech. And even when they met with Truman before Eisenhower, and when they met with the shadow government, all we really wanted from these guys is advanced technologies, and of course that's when they created the Alter Treaty with the Greys, where the Greys said, all right, we'll give you as much as this advanced technology that you guys need, right, to create the interplanetary corporate conglomerate, the secret space program, in exchange of allowing us to abduct humans. And of course, they broke their treaty because they were supposed to only abduct a certain number of humans. And, that those abductions apparently have been going on till the present day.
So it was a Trojan horse.
It was a Trojan horse, yeah. 1947 crash in New Mexico was a total Trojan horse, designed to, in a way, it's like they were like giving us bait, because they knew that the shadow government wanted this advanced alien tech from the beginning, So that's how they were able to create to form their treatises with the Greys and the reptilian syndicate.
That's so interesting. Trojan horse is 143. Actually, that makes me think of Back to the Future when they talk about time travel was invented November 5th, 1955, which is interesting. So 1955, you talk about the White House. But 143 is November 5th. 143 is Trojan horse. It's actually Kennedy Dubs as well, which is interesting. Kennedy, Florida. JFK used to, as far as I know, their family used to meet at the church just up the road from Mar-a-Lago. Is it Bethsaida? I might be saying it wrong. But 143 is Kryptonian. 143 is also Ground Zero, Melania Trump, Building 7. But 1947, yeah, 1947. You know what? Another thing as well. This is interesting how this is worked. So there was another thing I wanted to, just as a little segue, but adding on to this. So you wouldn't have. I'm sure you've not heard of this before, Ismael, but there is a TV show, a kids' TV show here in England called Mr. Ben, and it's from back probably 80s, maybe 70s. And it's a cartoon thing. It's basically this guy goes through portals and time travels. But it's something I wanted to show you earlier, and I didn't do it, but you brought it up with this. So 1947, if you do 19 plus 47, that comes to 66. 66 comes to a few things, but one of the things it comes to is an event. And it is an event. 1947 was an event. But here, let me show you this. Where are we? Here we go. So I did this. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Is that close enough? Mr. Ben.
I guess I would need to put my glasses on. But I can see
Mr.
it.
Ben, it's just the wiki. It's just a screenshot of Mr. Ben. But Mr. Ben is interesting because that comes to 66 as well. And the other thing that caught my attention with this is he lived in an address which was 52 Festive Road. But when you just add all that up in the numbers in the gematria, it comes to 176, which is Back to the Future. It comes to my channel, Real Tom Numbers, on Twitter, etc. But I wanted to mention that because Mr. Ben 66, which is 1947. So there's all these things with Back to the Future, I think there's roots of it in Roswell as well, because of the 143, which is, I just said it. What did I say that was? 143. I just said it with Roswell, didn't I? Where was it? Trojan Horse, yeah. So Trojan Horse, 143, November 5th. But Back to the Future, the address of Mr. Ben, but Mr. Ben's 1947, which is 66, which is Mr. Benwich's event. How I'm amazed. So this, when you say as well about like Men in Black, so are they still, okay. So we know that the light has won. We know that the Alliance has won, and we're working towards this timeline of where everything is, we have the solar flash where things all start to go. Are we still under the spell or the coverage or the camouflage of things like Men in Black? You said that they were doing things to hide stuff, and they could, they have technologies to keep things secure and completely oblivious to, the naked eye and understanding of most people. Is that sort of stuff, has that gone, or is it in the process of being dismantled, or has it been flipped for good, by the good guys? Because if we've won, I believe we have,
we did
getting to the point. Things like that's still around.
No, the Majestic, actually they're called the Majestic 12, but so
the Men in Black are the Majestic 12.
Yeah, the Majestic 12, they have been disbanded because of the Alliance. Right after the Kennedy assassination, that's when the Alliance decided to become more organized. And of course, we also developed our own benevolent secret space program to defend our solar system and our planet, known as Solar Warden. And so when all that stuff came back,
so Solar Warden is the counterpart for the secret. So when you say secret space program, well, by and large, are we talking about something that was on the negative side of things? Would that be fair?
Well, we had a negative secret space program. We actually had two of them, right? The original Nazi alliance with the reptilians back in the early 1930s was actually known as the Omega Project. They were never known as the Dark Fleet, and they became known as the Omega Fleets. Rather, why would they call themselves a Dark Fleet? Because in their mind, they think they're justifying. Yeah. They think they're the good guys. So the Dark Fleet was a term coined by Corey Goode, but he wasn't allowed to reveal the real name of the fleets. That was the alliance between the Nazis and the reptilians. The real name of the fleets, I'm going to reveal it because I know I have special protection. It's called the Omega fleets. And again, going back to the fact that the reptilians themselves are working for the AI god, and the AI god is known as Saurian Omega. And I was actually the first one to reveal that name when I first came into the scene. And I think other people are now confirming and validating that, yes, we are, at the highest level of reality, we are fighting this so-called alien AI god that is so advanced that transferred from other universe to our universe. But they didn't know its name until, of course, I revealed its name. And the only reason I knew its name is because, I've been involved in some of these programs myself, not particularly Solar Warden, but I was involved with Radiant Guardians. And that's the main entity that we've been fighting in the multiverse is Saurian Omega. And that's the only reason why I remember his name, is because I've been getting my memories back from serving with Radiant Guardians. But other people have confirmed that, Ishmael's right. His name is Saurian Omega, but that's why they were called the Omega fleets, from the beginning. But Solar Warden was designed as a counter to counteract that. And then, of course, later Radiant Guardians was designed as a way to bring about the restoration of other universes beyond our local universe. Well, actually, no. There's a faction of Radiant Guardians that was working with Solar Warden, along with another faction known as Radiant Glory that were working within our solar system, within our galaxy and local universe. But then there was another part of Radiant Guardians that was designed to work in other universes, and then that's the off-world program that I was involved with.
So Radiant Glory is the good secret space program, basically.
Yeah, they're working. Well, the way it's designed, and this is actually validated by James Rink, was that from our
I'm going to
planet.
do a show with James. Yeah.
Oh, nice. From our planet to about the asteroid belt, is patrolled by radiant glory. From the asteroid belt all the way to the to outside our heliosphere, which is outside of our solar system, is patrolled by solar warden. And then there's a part of solar warden that has also been patrolling in the entire Milky Way. And then there's a part of radiant guardians in collaboration with solar warden that has been controlling other galaxies within our local universe. But then there is also a smaller part within radiant guardians that was used to patrol other universes. So yeah, I mean, our super soldiers extend into other universes, is what I'm trying to say. Our super soldier programs.
Wow. So what do we have any update on where we are now in terms of, so 2024, you're saying that we're going to have the solar flash,
or a timeline split, yeah.
Or what, sorry?
Or the bifurcation of worlds, the timeline split, because right now they're coexisting, right? The negative timeline with the positive timeline. So things are climaxing to that point where, this war between the Alliance and the Cabal is about to hit a boiling point where it's actually going to break out into something, for the public to see. It's no longer going to be a cover world war as it has been from behind the scenes. So what's happening right now? Okay, so what's happening in the multiverse is that members of the High Council of the Super Universe of Orgonton, which is the segment that our local universe, our galaxy, and our planet is a part of, have actually been conducting some important meetings here within the last few weeks in our solar system, in our sun, because our sun is also inhabited by very advanced beings of light. Our sun is like, it's got beautiful structures, advanced civilizations within it. So that's another lie. Our sun is not just this heated ball of fire. It is actually on a very high dimensional level of reality. Our sun is like a planet, and it inhabits and it harbors advanced civilizations within it, though, not on the surface, within it. And so what's been happening in the last month is members of the Ancient Order of Days, which operate from harmonic universe number 5, which is occupying all the way from dimensions 13, 14, and 15, have come to our solar system to create a treaty that involves a unification and alliance of many universes. So what they're doing is, as the Earth gets ready to ascend, our galaxy, which was once part of the Andromeda galaxy, known as the Anway galaxy, it was part of a super galaxy before it was separated by the AI god, is actually also coming back into union. Now, to the astronomers, they see a collision of the Andromeda and the Milky Way, right? As they pierce with their telescopes, and they say, oh, this collision is not going to take place, or this merging is not going to take place for another million years. But what they fail to realize is that time is only existing within the third dimension. As we ascend into the fifth dimension, there is no time. So that union, that million years, as the future and the past are all happening at the same time, is already going to be completed. And so as the Milky Way and Andromeda become one again, become a super galaxy known as the Anway, An as in Andromeda, Way as in Milky Way, the Anway galaxy, that is going to be repositioned at the center of our super universe. And our universe is comprised of over 700 million local universes. I hope people are able to digest this information. But so it's happening right now, my brother. Are you there?
I'm here, buddy.
Oh, I'm here. Okay, I can't see you on the Zoom. Let me hold on 1 second. All right, can you still see me?
Yes.
All right. Something happened on my laptop. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to reveal this information, but I'm going to go ahead. So what's happening is that as the Earth ascends, the reunion of Milky Way and Andromeda are going to be repositioned at the center of Orgonton, and the Earth is going to be now at the center of the super universe segment of Orgonton, which is one of 7 super universes that make up the grand central creation. So they're creating here in our solar system They're creating what is known as the Council of Universal Unification. And Earth is going to be now at the center. So that's how important our planet is. It's going to be the epicenter of the entire super universe of Orvonton. And from what I understand, and as revealed in the Urantia papers, it was believed that the periphery of Orvonton hasn't been completed. And according to my downloads, they told me that the Earth was the final planet, the final world that was going to act and be the completion of the entire super universe periphery. So for billions of years, all the local universes that exist within our super universe, get this, they only exist within the first outer space level of the motherverse extending outward. So there are other space levels right now as I speak, my friend, where new universes are going to be coming into existence. And it is believed that the seed of the Earth is not only going to repopulate the rest of our galaxy, universe, and other universes, but we're also going to be the overseers of these new universes that are being developed in the second circle that is now existing outside of the current super universes in which all the universes are a part of. Oh, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so a treaty, an alliance of all the universes that are part of the super universe of Orvonton are coming into unification here in our solar system. That's the bottom line, with the ascension of the Earth.
What was Anway again?
Oh, Anway is going to be the name of the new galaxy as Andromeda, as the Andromeda galaxy and the Milky Way finish or complete their merging, because when we pierce into the stars, astronomers are seeing them collide. Okay. But what's happening is they're reuniting again, because Andromeda, which is also known as M31, was the galaxy that connected us to the eternal spheres of the central universe of Havana. And so with the ascension of the Earth, we're also going to witness the ascension of our entire universe as these two galaxies reunite. And then we're also going to witness the ascension of the entire super universe, which means that all these universes that were affected by the AI God are all going to be restored as we usher in a whole new era in cosmos. And Earth is now going to be at the center. The new headquarters, you could say the new headquarters world in which, paradise is going to be a reality here on the Earth for all time and all eternity.
Cool, bring that on.
Yeah, I know.
Bring that on.
Yeah, so the galactic and the cosmic communities are aware of this information. It's just that here on the Earth, we don't have access to the greater picture, to the greater importance of the Earth in relationship to the multiverse. And so, it's bigger than just the ascension of the Earth, my friend. For those that go into the positive ascending timeline, as we move into the Terra Earth, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, we're going to be just continuing our ascension into the Gaia Earth in dimensions 7, 8, and 9, and then, of course, into the Aramatena Earth in dimensions 10, 11, and 12. And then finally, we're going to be able to access the realms of eternity, which is Earth's highest self, known as Sophia, which exists in the dimensions 13, 14, and 15. And so we are the first race, the only race in the multiverse that is going to have that opportunity to be able to ascend into the realms of eternity, because we were given what is known as the source code, the source code within our genetics.
When you said Arimathea, is that the same as Arimathea, or is that slightly different?
It is Arimathea. There's different pronunciations, but the spelling of that, what we call the Earth, in its existing in dimensions 10, 11, and 12, it is spelled Aramana, Arimathena.
Arimathena, okay. Arimathea. It's making me think of arithmetic. Arimathea. And Joseph of Arimathea. Joseph was 73, number of arithmetic, number of Arimathea. Interesting. Overseers 126. That's John Connor, Sarah Connor. Chinese elders 107. Amway 64. I wanted to pop a joke and say it's not Amway. Amway, like the MLM door-to-door selling company. Amway
No,
product.
it's,
Okay, no,
yeah,
I'm joking.
it's with an N,
Just,
not an M, people. Don't get
no, I know.
confused.
I just, when people will hear it, I'm like, some people are going to think Amway. It's like, no, it's Anway. Anway 64, which is 8 times 8, you know.
Oh, nice.
10.
Well, think about it.
Israel, Zion is, there you go, Project Restoration. Zion is also Project Restoration Anway. If you're merging the two galaxies together, there you go.
Maybe I should change my Instagram from Project Restoration Zion to Project Restoration Anway with an N, guys, not M. Anway. You know, it's funny because I put out a Instagram video regarding this, merging of the Anway super galaxy, and people were leaving comments because I guess they heard it as Amway, and they're like, does this have anything to do with that multi-level marketing? I was like, no, nothing to do.
Oh, so
it's not Amway.
thought...
Say that again.
They thought that as well. Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's funny, actually. You say so. I mentioned Overseers 126, 107. When you say super galaxy or Anway super galaxy, super 79, atomic gold is 79, Wonder 79, so you've got Superman, Wonder Woman, etc. But 79 is the dove. So when you say super Anway galaxy is 134 Regent's Park. It's New Yorker, the Tesla hotel. But super Anway Galaxy is 213, which is Kid by the Side of the Road, which is Juan's book as well. So that's interesting. It's also Donald John Trump Jr. actually. Yeah. Did you see President Trump speak last night?
No, but I somebody did send me like a 3-minute talk where he was talking about, like, if he was still in office, he was going to build a dome so that no nuclear weapons could penetrate our country, and that he was going to build a defense system that was going to neutralize any other weapons from penetrating America. And he was saying that if he was in office, he wouldn't be provoking. The PE in office is he's really antagonizing and provoking the situation. It's almost like they really want to like launch us into this third world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Yeah, so that's the only thing I saw. So what was it about his speech last night?
He kept repeating, so he did a lot of misspeaks, deliberate misspeaks. I caught a few of them. I need to go back over it and catch them all, but he was doing it a lot. Like, he was really, every few seconds there was a misspeak. But he did talk about, and this was obvious because people can hear it, he talked about April Fool's Day. So it's like April Fools, he must have said it, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. So he was really repeating that. And I remember I did a show with Juan a couple of years ago on about April Fools, saying that President Trump would be back on April Fools, and then Juan said, well, he kind of alluded to maybe there might be other April Fools that come up. So I don't know. I mean, President Trump saying April Fools, would that be too obvious? Would that be too bang on the nose, saying he's coming back in April Fools? He didn't say that, but he repeated the phrase April Fools many, many times, a lot of times. I mean, there's a few values for that. April Fools. April is 56, which is healing, which is light. Fools is 67, which is reset, which is exchange, it's water. Maybe healing water. I don't know. Maybe that. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. But yeah, them together is 123. 123 is Eric Trump. It's Missouri. It's Abraham Lincoln. It's silver, 85, plus gold, 38. Missouri, about some of the prophecies, maybe with the New Jerusalem. Yeah, he kept saying it. April Fool was 123. And he said it, yeah, like I said, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. Someone can put in the comments how many times he did it, but he did it a lot. It wasn't like 2 or 3. It was a whole it was a whole thing of, it's like April Fools. And then he did it. It's just like April Fool, and he went on and on about April Fools. So I'm like, so what? Okay, so when is that? Well, it's April 1st. Is he talking about literally April Fools? Or is he talking about something else? Mm-hmm. As with all of his speeches, it's multi-layered with meanings. But April Fools. What is that? Is he coming back on April?
Well, I hope it's not a literal April Fools. I hope it's real, the real deal.
I know.
I would hate. I would hate to hear an announcement. Yeah, he's coming back, and then an hour later, oh, April Fools.
Yeah. I know. It is weird though. I know. No, we want that. We want it to be a real one. It's interesting though. I mentioned one a few times, and then it's come up again. So he did it. Yeah, a year ago. No, 2 years ago. A show about April. Well, I did one. I did it a few times about April Fools. That President Trump was going to come back on April Fools. So that would have been 2021. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he would have been out of office for a few months and then come back on April Fools, and then nothing happened. And then it was like, okay, or nothing publicly happened. But it's strange that President Trump has mentioned that over and over again yesterday. April Fools. What is it? What does he mean by that? Is it a 2-year delta on the one was mentioning before? Maybe. I don't know. April Fools,
right?
Say that again.
I guess we're gonna all find out in 2 months what he meant.
I guess we will. Yeah, I guess we'll find. You'll find out. That's the phrase. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, April Fools. We'll see. Wow. That was really great about all the off-world stuff, buddy. It's so fascinating when you go there because you've got so much knowledge on it, and it's like, what's that one? Okay, and then I try and piece a few bits together, and it's triggers to this. And any thoughts, any messages of hope and comfort for people as we keep going forward into the game, and what do you think for the next few weeks, next few months for people to look forward to and to be blessed and comforted by? What things can they look forward to?
Well, it's we are in biblical times. The apocalypse, which means revelations, disclosure, information that hasn't been around for thousands of years coming back to the earth. We're going to be witnessing the shift, my friend, the shift in consciousness, the great awakening, the defeat of the dark side, for those that are in the positive timeline. And just bear in mind that if you're not a wicked person, if you're not out there deliberately, robbing houses, selling, drugs and doing things that are nefarious, you will be in the positive timeline. You will be at least going to the fourth dimension. And so there will be a bifurcation, and for those who don't make the bifurcation, unfortunately, that is going to go into the, NWO timeline and, transhumanism and, what they call the technocratic takeover of that world. But it's not going to happen in the positive timeline, So keep the hope, keep the faith, stay grounded, and just remember that even though there's a lot of people out there who are very, very asleep and they don't want to hear about this stuff, guys, sometimes our light, our frequency that we emanate is sufficient enough to wake them up. So, the more you meditate, the more you pray, the more you are in tune with God and the light, the angels around you, talk to your spirit guides, make a effort to acknowledge that you guys have a team of spirit guides all around you at all times, whether they are your ancestors, whether they are your angels, different parts, different aspects of yourselves in different dimensions. Communicate with them, acknowledge them, because they will guide you, they will inspire you, and most importantly, they will protect you. And so I would say that, things are about to hit the fan this year. I don't know exactly how it's going to unfold, but, for those that are not wicked, you will reap the new earth. For those that are just, you will reap the new earth. And for those that are not wicked, I'm sorry, for those that are not wicked, that are just, you will reap the new earth. However, for those that are wicked, you will be eliminated. And that also, for those that haven't had a chance to order my book, Our Cosmic Origin, it's been totally restructured. It reads a lot more simply. And I did add an extra chapter that reveals what happens after the ascension into the future. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe there's some pollen out there in the air, but yeah, order it through my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, C-O-M, ourcosmicorigin.com. Click the A for Amazon, and you will get the amazing starseed price of $11.11. And that price ends in 4 days, guys. After that, it's going to go back to $21.89. So if you guys want my new version for $11.11, go through my website and click Amazon, and you will get the $11.11 price shipped to your house. Half price right now, for the star seeds, and for everyone really in general who want to understand the bigger picture of our cosmos. And I still have some spots left in my starseed cosmology course. And in order to access that, go to the mysticarts.org and sign up for starseed cosmology, not astrology, starseed cosmology. I only have 10 spots left actually for the February class. Now, bear in mind that after the LA Conscious Expo in 2 weeks on the 11th, 12th, and 13th, I'm probably going to be booked till the end of the year, because that's what normally happens when I, address thousands of people. And what else?
Cool, buddy.
Yeah, I guess that's it for now.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. It's good. And 11:11, like it says, 121 revelation. And you said, look forward to revelations. Revelations, interesting enough, so 140, the apprentice, the trumps, and it's my name, Tom Numbers. So I was like, thanks. And then you said the Great Awakening, which is 169, which is Trump Tower, and it's also Thomas Bushnell. So I was like, thanks for the shout outs, Ismael. But yeah, check the links below, sign up to Ismael's course. Do subscribe to my channel, the Tom Numbers Show and Psych Club. Click the notification bell and then click all, and you'll get everything in Twitter and Telegram, the 2 Telegrams and Rumble. So Godspeed, brother. I'll see you soon. And as always, it's always great to talk and to see where we're going. So actually, I will mention this. I've mentioned this before, but I've got a lot of things coming up about 2028, which translates to the best is yet to come. 228, I should say, 228. And if you drop the 0 in geometry, it comes to 228. The dove is yet to come. I'm wondering, maybe we can talk about this next time, but do you, from your perspective, we reach the solar flash at 2024. Do you see anything coming in 2028? I'm kind of prepared to go to a 2028. President Trump always says it. He says the best is yet to come, which is 228. So I wonder if you see anything with the New Jerusalem into 228, 2028. Oh,
well, that's the time frame between, many people are saying that the bifurcation of worlds will take place by 2024, solar flash. And then by 2028, the Earth will be completely settled in a paradise state of existence for all life and all eternity. It's really just reaping the new Earth, guys, and yeah, it's going to be interesting the way everything unfolds in the next few years, because we are living in the greatest transition ever in the history of the Earth, guys. So, yeah, a lot of people are saying that by 2028, things are just going to be, it's like a whole new world. It's going to exist.
Good. Let's bring that into being. Let's help with the big plans in place, and probably the plans that we all agreed to, I'm sure. So let's bring that about. And the whole new world, that's what the new world. Sorry, the new Earth, you said, is 127, the Ace of Spades. Also comes to November 5th, so November 5th. Takes you back to the 143, and it's mentioned in, Back to the Future and other places. So, yeah, the new Earth, 127, the Ace of Spades, November 5th. I like that. All right, buddy. God bless you. We'll speak soon.
Likewise, brother. Take care and have an awesome
Thanks.
Sunday.
You too, buddy. Good luck with everything. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers, buddy. Take care. Bye.
Bye.